Welcome to Marketecture, where you can get smart, fast, with in-depth interviews of leading technology vendors. I'm Bryan Barletta of Sounds Profitable, and I'm here with Robert Tuchman, co-founder of Amaze Media Labs. Welcome to the show, Robert.
Ryan, thanks so much for having me. Great to see you.
Why don't you explain what the product does, and then we can understand the category it's in and who it can be most directly compared to.
Yeah. So basically, I'll tell you, we initially started with a legacy product that what our thought was, let's go find the audience. The hardest thing in podcasting, as I said, and we learned was finding audience. And especially if we were going to be doing a podcast, let's say for a company like Pfizer that was really looking to target doctors or hospital workers. So the product that we created, we actually didn't create it. A company called Rockable created it. We ended up working with them for the first couple of years and ended up acquiring Dylan Langlos, his team at Rockable, about a year ago. And that legacy product, really how it works in the most basic terms, we would put together an advertisement that was focused, they had their own DSP, that was focused on looking at all relative content to that podcast episode. So let's say that episode was on ad technology, like today in podcasting, and there was an article on Bloomberg or Wall Street Journal that was focused on ad tech, and it fit the demographic we were looking for. This advertisement would pop up next to the actual article, and it would give you the ability to actually listen to the podcast, or it would give you the ability not only to listen to the podcast, but then go to Apple or Spotify or even the company's own website and sign up to listen to the podcast. And that's a great product when you're focused on a specific audience. But what we've done in the recent, I would say last 6 months is create really a new product we think is even going to be a lot better. It's a lot more cost effective, and it's really shown tremendous promise off the bat.
Very cool. So just to recap here, just make sure that we're on the same page. We're talking about display advertisements that advertise a podcast to listen to. And when you click and engage on them, then it'll bring you to a landing page, which has more content. We can talk about the Trailergram, your other product, the new one that you're talking about here, or the core product, which allows you to listen directly to a full episode or click out all the external links. And so it is primarily display ads that you're buying, and you're contextually identifying the podcast and then identifying the content on the page?
Well, what you're doing is actually you're identifying the content of that specific episode, right, for that podcast. And exactly like you said, it's completely contextual. So if it's relevant to that podcast episode, then it will appear on that webpage next to the article.
Very cool. But in both products, both versions of it work very similar in how they get to the audience, but it's different on what happens once you click.
That is exactly right. And that's the big difference to your point of Trailergram. And really, Trailergram, the new product that we've launched that has done exceptionally well. Myself and one of my other co-founders, Brett Sklar, we came from a creative artist agency. We had sold our last business in branded content and experiential to them. And we saw that side I never had of Hollywood and movies. And we realized that, movie trailers are really what drive audience. You see a great movie trailer, you want to go see that movie.
Yeah.
So I have to give Brett credit. He really kind of thought of the idea and then worked with Dylan on creating it. And basically, to give you really what Trailergram is, it's a monthly subscription service that kind of helps grow and retain podcast audience. And it's a new advertising product from us that, we've been testing and refining. And the process, is to drive listenership, not only for our branded podcast clients like the Fords and the Unilevers and the Pfizers, but really make this available for everyone in podcasting. Because the beauty about it is the way we go and get the audience, and what I love about this is we're finding people who may not be listening yet to podcasts, right? Or may never have listened to a podcast. So number one, it helps, generate new listenership. But what sets Trailergram apart is how we're using kind of this ad tech innovation to build the podcast audience and drive engagement. And it's exactly what we talked about, targeting the relevant people with ads, allowing them to listen to the trailer.
Thanks for listening. To hear the complete interview, subscribe at marketecture.tv.